Hello and welcome back to Panama for Real. Today I want to do an introduction to Mr. Gerry Dowden, who is one of our key team members here at Panama for Real. And I thought it would be a great idea for everybody out there to find out a little bit more about Gerry. Gerry, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Dominic, and it's good to be with you.
Yeah, and Gerry, you've probably been here longer than anybody I know. Would you like to give me, apart from some Panamanians, that is, could you give us some background on how it is that you came here and the sort of the history of your time in Panama?
Yeah, absolutely. I was working for a company in London in the marine fuel business. We were brokers and traders, and we had just divorced a business deal in the United States, in fact, in Miami, and we were looking for new opportunities. I was doing business in this area with Venezuela and with Mexico, and I used to sort of pass through Panama occasionally. And I said, well, hey, instead of looking in North America, why don't we sort of look further south? But we could set up in Panama, which is shipping orientated, of course. And that was it. They said to me, right, get on a plane, and off I went. And I have been here ever since. Now, this was in 1990, 1993, and we ended up with four or five companies here in the marine fuel business. We were brokers, traders, we were physical suppliers. We had our own trucks. We had a joint venture with a ship supplying fuels, and that was how it all started. And I never went back. The company closed down in around about 2003. I stayed on doing some consultancy for a while in the marine business and for people looking at coming to work in Panama, set up companies. But what happened next was that a friend of mine and myself were out one evening having a few drinks, as one does, and he mentioned that, well, we were talking about the fact that SCN, Southern Command Network, had left Panama in just beginning of 2000 after the Americans left. And so they were broadcasting English radio and TV into Panama. And when they left, that stopped. And there was no English language news or anything coming through into the system. And I'd had done radio in an earlier life when I was in the military and loved it. And I said, well, I used to broadcast, and he said he could sell things. And a little bit tongue in cheek, about a week later, we'd set up the Panama Broadcasting Corporation, which sounds rather glorious, doesn't it? But as I said, a little bit tongue in cheek. We did a few things on the radio, but eventually we got to work with a station called Cool FM. And for the last 13 and a half years, we have been doing a morning show, an early morning show, getting people to work and bringing in the local news in English, some international news, international business news, local guests, of course, plenty of great music. And that is it. The rest is history.
Yes, absolutely. You're a national hero because getting the news in English here is just such a boon, and particularly during our lockdown during the pandemic, because Panama probably had the most draconian lockdown in the world,
Mm.
and we had very little access to information. And to get the local news in English was incredibly important, and I think you kept a lot of people sane. And the reason that I really wanted to invite you on board was all that experience, but also I know that you care deeply about Panama, and also you have some fairly sort of matter of fact ways of looking at things. Sometimes people aren't given the information they need when they're trying to make decisions. What made you when I say making decisions, I mean about coming to live here, possibly relocating here. What made you want to join us at Panama for Real?
Well, firstly, as you said, I have a great affection for the country. It's been very good to me. Business opportunities have been very good. I ended up doing, as I said, working on the radio, which is, something which I always wanted to do, and I've been doing it. And I loved it enough to become Panamanian. And in actual fact, talking about broadcasting, it is a protected occupation in Panama. And I think that's something people do need also to look at if you're looking at coming here for business. Some occupations are protected and they can only be run by or headed by Panamanians. But why did I want to come on board? I think in a way it's one of these things where I have been here a long time. And sometimes you hear stories from people that they have been chatting to people that have been here for a very short period of time. And I think what attracted me to this was the fact that the people that are dealing with Panama for real, that are on the team, we are all experienced, very experienced in other types of business. And I think it's this care for the country and the care for wanting people to come here for the right reasons and to find that they come here and be comfortable. It's a big decision. It's a very big decision when you think about leaving one country and coming to live in another, and you have to do a lot of homework before you even think about it. And not just in one country. You may want to look at living or retiring in a number of countries. You might whittle it down to 2. Then you have to do even more homework. And then you have to get involved in the country that you're interested in. You've got to spend time there. You can't just say, oh yes, I'm going to go and live or retire in Panama or whatever. No. You need to understand it before you do it. What I mean by that is the last thing you want to be saying is, well, we don't do it like this where I come from. Well, if that's the way you feel, it's very important that you do study, that you do look at it, that you get good advice and sound advice. And I think that's one of the things that Panama for Real is supplying. If you look at the people and the contacts that we are utilizing to help people find a new home, that's one of the reasons I joined Panama for Real.
Yeah, I agreed. And I think it's very, very important that people do their homework. And one of the things that we aim to do is to help them to do that and to do it easily. Because I think we're probably the only resource that will let people see the whites of the eyes of a lawyer before they get here. We have a number of immigration lawyers who we've made many videos now with immigration lawyers who talk about the different kinds of visas and what it takes and how long it will take and how that information doesn't exist with other organizations. We just finished a film with our medical expert explaining. It's quite a long one for us, about 15 minutes, but it explains the 3 stages of the Panamanian health service and how to access them. Which I sat there making the film with him. I've been here 7 years. I only knew about half of what he was talking about. So it's incredibly useful information. And as you said, we're very careful about the team and who we invite in. I think we've got the team just right at the moment. I think we're headed for great things. And I'd just like to invite people to you're going to be able to access this film without making a subscription. But hopefully this will be one of the videos that you see that will make you want to subscribe and get access to all of that really important and useful information. Gerry, thanks very much for your time. We're going to be seeing Gerry in a lot more moving forwards. Gerry's moving to from the radio studio out to do some interviews with some key people in the country. And we look forward to that. In fact, we're off next week to talk to one of the biggest property developers in the country.
That's right. I look at them every day.
Yeah, it's going to be that's going to be an interesting film. Okay, Gerry, thank you very much for your time today. To the viewers, please come and join us. If you're seriously thinking about Panama, this is where you will find the information you need in easily manageable chunks, and we're all about demystifying the process. So come and join us, and we hope to see you in Panama soon.
Thank you.